what do you need to see from a fundamental analyst looking to value this company, looking at whether it be ad revenue, engagement, monetization, an open source algorithm, blue checking, all sort of real individuals? How are you thinking about all of those dynamics as it goes into a stronger income statement, balance sheet from your fundamental analysis as you think about this company going forward?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think a lot of folks right now want to understand how Musk is envisioning the next generation of Twitter. He's obviously been tweeting about this appropriately to some extent over the last couple of weeks. But I think some things that people are focused on are, number one, his prioritization of free speech and how that's potentially contrary to what have been years of time that Twitter itself has spent investing in health and safety, arguably contrary to the notion of free speech to some extent. Then secondarily, it seems like he's been indicating that subscriptions are the priority. And of course, if you look at Twitter, that is far from the case at this point. It's largely an advertising-driven monetization model.
Yeah.
How, if possible, is he going to flip that construct completely on its head? So those are a couple of things that initially I think are worth thinking about. But again, I think most important right now are who's going to be running the company going forward,
right?
What are its priorities, and how is it going to be investing against those?
Right, and we don't necessarily know that just yet. Though I am curious, Scott, I mean, a lot of the ideas that you just talked about, the ideas meaning that were coming from Musk with regards to how to improve Twitter, these are ideas that have been out there for a long time. We know that in some cases, the executives, including Jack Dorsey when he was there, consider them like sort of full verification of all users. We know other methods like the subscription service and else have been floated by other prominent people out there. And I'm just curious as to why you think that the board, or I should say the executives and the board for that matter, weren't more receptive to those ideas in the past.
It is a fascinating and super important question. The edit button, which I guess that's what Elon Musk has termed it. I mean, people have been asking for that, I think, for seemingly as long as the platform has been around, definitely as long as I've been on it, and that's been a while. I can't answer that question. I don't know why they're not making some of these changes. I think that's one of the big questions around the company. And it's one of the reasons why we may have seen Jack Dorsey over the last couple of weeks seemingly starting to kind of buy into the fact that, frankly, leadership at Twitter hasn't really been doing as good a job as many thought they should have been doing. And so I think the best people to answer that question are, frankly, the former and current leadership of Twitter itself. I think some of those changes are hard, no question about that, but that's what Elon Musk potentially brings to the table, is kind of like a singular focus and vision, and then kind of the will to push things forward. That, it seems to me, has been one of the things that's been lacking over the last decade or so.